Hi, I'm Allison Campbell. I am the Associate Laboratory Director for the Earth and Biological Sciences Directorate. And I'm here with Cooper and Charles from the Rochester Institute of Technology. So Cooper, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm from Rochester, New York. I'm studying environmental science right now at RIT.
Okay, and how about you, Charles?
I'm from Mississippi originally, and I go to school at RIT as well. I'm a fourth-year biomedical engineering major.
Cooper, tell me what you're studying here at PNNL.
I'm studying ecosystem with soil multiomics.
Soil multiomics, okay. And how about you, Charles?
I'm on two different plant science projects, one working with two different model grasses under the effects of elevated CO2, and the other project is looking at reverse genetics with 4 different Brachypodium mutant lines and measuring how that affects photosynthesis.
Okay. So you guys are part of a pilot project here at the laboratory between the National Technical Institute of the Deaf, which is at the Rochester Institute of Technology, and PNNL. How's your experience been? I'll start with you.
It's been great. There's so much science going on. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I've never had any problems without people being accommodating. It's been a good time.
Okay, good.
Well, it's a little challenge for me here as a science. For example, the BCA proteomics and metabolomics. Mm-hmm. So extracting the soil from different environment, soil, leaf litter, rhizosphere, and root. So that's a little challenge. And the communications, there's no ASL used here. So I'm using them to teach some of the people some basic science to be able to learn. So we have boogie board, so sometimes we don't want to waste paper.
Yeah.
It makes communication successful.
How about outside of the laboratory? Have you found things to do in the community? Is it a good environment for interns to come? What have you explored outside the lab?
There's a lot of good things to see here, like Badger Mountain, and they've got different group deaf meeting here every Friday. So it's really good numbers of deaf people here that live.
Great. How about you? Did you get out and about in the community?
Yeah, it's a lot different than Rochester here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of nature stuff to do. If you like biking, it's great. And then we're also pretty close to Seattle and Portland, so I took a few trips out there, which is nice to see.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell me one thing that was the biggest surprise to you in coming here? I mean, you're sort of the first from your school to be here. It's a program we hope to expand. You guys are pioneers. What's the biggest surprise? Good or bad? Charles, go ahead.
For me, I just didn't really know anything about PNNL beforehand, so just kind of seeing how there is so much different science going on here and how we're able to kind of tie it all in together. It's kind of crazy to me. Also, the weather, I was expecting Seattle a little bit, but it's a little drier here.
It's a lot drier, yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to interns coming here from Rochester Institute of Technology or anywhere else?
I was hoping that they'd come over here because they had a wonderful start and how there's accessibility for different ones. They've put in mirrors for me. They never had mirrors in the areas. And the boogie board they were able to give, and so we don't waste paper.
Okay.
So that was nice. At the same time, it was a challenge. The noise and I was searching for something. There was the light that I needed, and it wasn't easy to find those.
Yeah.
So Paul helped me find that, and it was successful and put it in the lab. That was wonderful. So I'd like the deaf to come over here and benefit more for the lab.
I also heard that you in the laboratory created signs for instruments that don't exist. So maybe that's something you can take back to NTID and utilize, like centrifuge, right? Yeah, okay, yeah.
There are many. There are lab equipments. There's so much of them here.
Yeah.
You know, centrifuge. What's the other one? Is that sonic? Is that
Sonic, yeah, the Sonic's, okay, yeah, the Sonic thing.
There's varieties.
Yeah.
So I started making signs for
Maybe
that.
yeah, that's
to
good.
be used
Yeah, that's
often.
good. Good. And how about you? What advice for interns might you provide?
I guess for any interns, I'd say try to see some of the different science that's going on here. Like try to get out of your group a little bit and tour the other labs if you can. And then for NTID students, I'd say be ready to kind of show your coworkers what you need to be successful. Don't expect people to know how to accommodate you coming in.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I found with you two being here is that the accommodations that we make for people who are deaf help people who can hear as well. The mirrors you talked about. So I think those are great suggestions. And one of the things that I wanted to do in the pilot program was to have you help us figure out how to make the campus more accessible. So I thank you for that. Switching a little bit to science, can you tell me about a skill that you learned here that you didn't have before that you'll take away?
For me, well, all the plant stuff I did was new, but one cool thing I got to learn about was LCM, like laser capture microdissection, which is where you can just basically take small cell samples
You
from
just
a plant.
carve them out.
Yep, and you can use the laser to capture it, which is really cool and something I think I could take into other fields
You can do
easily.
it. Well, especially in the biomedical, I bet you, for sure.
Exactly.
How about you? Did you learn a new skill that you'll take back to you, to NTID?
Yes, an example. Extraction of proteomics and metabolomics, you know, from different matrices, soil, roots, rhizosphere, leaf litter.
Okay, last thing is I heard that you have created a word sign?
Name
A
sign.
name sign for PNNL. Would you be happy to share that with us at some point?
I'm happy to share the new sign for PNNL.
Okay. Okay.
And it's supposed to look like the PNNL logo.
Logo. Oh, okay. Very good. So let me see. Very good. Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you guys. I love doing these videos so that people from across our directorate can meet people that they might not be able to meet. And I hope that you've had a wonderful time. And if there's anything that we can do for you in the future, please don't hesitate to ask. And thanks again.